Jerry here with Century Farm Organics. Welcome back to the channel. We are combining some sunflowers tonight. So we're pulling a late shift. We got some rain forecasted later in the week. So we want to try to get these flowers out, and we have some corn left. Pretty good sunflowers. I'll just show you a little bit. So this is our row crop head we purchased, and right down here we made a backstop, and then in the field we made a couple of little adjustments. We added some poly shields on the side. We had a few heads going over the sides, so we tried to stop that. It worked pretty good. Yeah, we're cruising along. I've been going 4 to 4.5 miles an hour. It's averaging just under 2,400 pounds an acre. I think the monitor might be off a little bit. We actually are not using a grain cart, so we don't have anything to calibrate against, but I think it's pretty close. My guess is 2,500 pounds this field's running. It's got a pretty big sand streak through it. Right here is pretty good. It's running over 2,000. Up ahead here it'll get up to closer to 3,000. Yeah. The other thing I'd just show you here is our weed control. Not very many weeds. If you remember, we had a segment, Will They Survive? And we really did a really hard flame weed on these sunflowers, and they came back from it very, very well. And the other thing is we followed it up with the Cultivate, and we just hammered the weeds. I would say phenomenal weed control in this field. I mean, there's hardly any weeds at all. The sunflowers really knocked them out, shaded them out, and our Hindeker cultivators buried what the flame weeder burned back. So we were really concerned about this field, and it turns out it's one of our cleanest fields of the year. So very happy with it. Probably going to run around 2,500 pounds an acre. First time raising sunflowers is probably pretty good, I would say. So yeah, it's running 2,400 right now, 2,300. Pretty decent sunflowers. A little bit earlier in the field was a little bit better. Got a sand streak through here that's a little bit lighter, but still very happy with the results so far. So one of the things we're doing with this field, it's running, monitor says 8.4 right now, but the field average is 9.5 to 10.5%. So we're throwing them in our CMC bin, which has 3 fans on it. So I'm not too worried about taking a point out. We got to deliver them at 10 or under, so we should be plenty fine with that. Probably even deliver some this week yet. Yeah, so we're putting them in a pretty good sized bin with 3 really good fans. So maybe could have taken them out a little bit earlier. I guess we would have. We were just trying to get soybeans finished up, not switching back and forth. It's been a wet, kind of a dreary fall. We've gotten some couple rains, and now it's pretty dry, and later in the week now they're talking a pretty good chance of rain again. So we're pushing pretty hard. It is 12:42 a.m. We're still going. Yeah, I think we'll just keep going for a while here. Get a few more semis out and get this bin filled, and maybe fill up the semis and then turn it over to the other boys. So Kevin and I are working tonight, and Sean and Kyle will pick it up right away first thing in the morning. So we should, unless we have a problem, we should be able to get this this field combined here probably mid-morning, I would guess. See how late we go tonight, but then we'll switch back to corn. We have about 400 acres of corn left, and some of our best fields are remaining. We got our driest and lowest rain ones done kind of early, and so now we got our better ones left, which is kind of cool. So good to finish up on a high note. We're getting down there on bins. I think we're gonna pretty much have all of our bins used up. Maybe we'll have one left. So it's running almost 3,000. They're 3,000 pounds right now. So pretty good sunflowers through here. Now we're getting getting to the sand streak. Here, I'll show you the sand streak. So if you remember before, we were pretty tall. This field has a really, really bad sand streak through it, which runs right through here, kind of at an angle. Makes it a difficult field to farm. Normally we would expect really bad weeds in this sand streak, but we're still running 855 pounds an acre right here. But we had pretty good weed control even in here. Those sunflowers just really shaded everything out. So, hey, welcome back. It's the next day. Sean's running the combine today. It's during the daylight now. So, still harvesting sunflowers. We got 3 rounds left. It's going pretty good. The monitor's showing 2,250 pounds an acre, which is pretty good. It might be a little underreporting by my calculations, but it's fairly close. They're running about, right now, 9.5%. Right now about 10%. So that's kind of where we want them. Maybe hoping for a little bit wetter when we combine them and put some air on them, but timing wise didn't work out. We were trying to finish soybeans, so, but still, that's a good moisture to take them at. We'll finish this field here in a little bit, and then we've got a few hundred acres of corn to get wrapped up yet. So we'll be back on corn this afternoon. So I'll get you a little footage of our sunflower head working, and yeah, we'll call it a wrap on sunflowers. Just wanted to show you right at this spot right here. We opened up the chopper in the back just to see what it was looking like. This was right when we started the field. So this is a head with really no seeds left on it. It's making it all the way through the rotor, shelling out all the seeds, but the whole head is staying intact right here. And normally these would then go through the chopper and bust up, so you don't have this throughout the field. But coming up through the feeder house, through the rotor, these heads right here all were staying intact, but they were also shelling. That's what you're looking for with sunflowers, is try to get it to shell without crushing or damaging the seed, and get it to clean very well. Not having all those pieces broke up in your rotor helps that, because it that stays intact. Otherwise all that garbage would be trying to clean out through your sieves. So as we were trying to clean up our sample, that's what we were looking for, is do we have full heads coming through the rotor? Then it's just your kind of your chaff and your sticks and stuff that we had to clean up in the tank. So worked pretty good. We're on our last 2 rounds here. Sean will finish up here in a little bit, and then we're going to be back to corn. So just about a wrap on sunflowers. It was a good year. It was a good crop. We'll be doing some next year, hopefully, if we can get a contract, and see if we can even do a little bit better next year. So very happy with what we did here. Weed control was very good. If you remember earlier in the series we had one of them, did we kill our sunflowers by flaming them? And we didn't. They bounced back super well. Kevin did the flame weeding, did an awesome job. I followed it up with the Hiniker Cultivate. Any of the little stems we buried, and hardly any of those weeds came back. Super impressed with the weed control. Sunflowers did great. Pretty good yield. This is a pretty tough field. It's got a huge sand streak through it, which I showed you in the video. Kind of runs at a diagonal. So we had very good sunflowers, but then if you average in that sand streak, they were anywhere from a couple 100 pounds. Most of them were probably 600, 700, 800 pounds. But 2 years ago we had soybeans on this field and I didn't even combine them. And we had less rain this year on this field than we did 2 years ago. So if we'd have done soybeans, those would have been a big old 0. So yeah, down to our last 2.5 rounds and it'll be a wrap on sunflowers. Back to corn.